Good afternoon and welcome to the briefing from the Board of Directors of Gem4Me Group, which was hosted on Monday, July 13th of 2020. My name is Oleg Lipovetsky and I will be translating on behalf of all the speakers today. Valery Ostrikov speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends, and today we have a conference during which we will answer the most frequently asked questions regarding the future development of our application and project, as well as we will also have our head of the team of developers discuss the most recent release of July 15th, after which we will pick up with our briefing and will answer your questions. Vaguez Karan speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Vaguez Karan and I am the head of development of the Gem4Me Messenger and will discuss its notions today, as well as our future plans and what has already been accomplished over the course of the past 3 weeks and the most recent release of July 15th. Firstly, the long-awaited notions of group video calls will be introduced on July 15th. They will also be available to place group video calls on all the platforms, and all users will be able to place video calls after they update their applications. And that is not everything, as this update will also include such features as deletion of messages by administrators of group chats, new statuses for calls such as busy and no answer, and correction of errors, while the iOS version will receive system messages, deletion of messages by users, and message editing. And Android version will receive notifications of deleted group channels and chats, online status was further improved, and sharing functionality, aka direct share. Additionally, the next release of August 5th will also feature voice messages, screen sharing on the web version, improvements to call functionality, improvements to the welcome chat bot, and administrating channels and group chats on the iOS version. While we are also continuing to work on such features as the desktop version of the Messenger, the web and desktop versions of MarketSpace, and development of the translator chat bot. On this note, I would like to thank you for your time, as these are all the notions that I wanted to cover today, as I am now passing the word to Valery Ostrikov, the member of the Board of Directors. Valery Ostrikov speaking. We continue working hard on bringing our application to the same level of quality and functionality as other leading messengers currently. Let's now answer the first questions of today. Why are all of your companies that are a part of the whole corporate structure registered in different jurisdictions? For instance, the custodian company that is registered in the Marshall Islands is of slight concern to me. Since Marshall Islands used to be in the blacklist, is it not risky? You are not registering the company in Malta like you did with Gem4Me? Now, due to the fact that we are striving to be able to flexibly protect the interest of our shareholders and conduct business, various jurisdictions allow to carry out various operations with shareholder registries. Marshall Islands are used by various governments and people from all over the world, especially American companies use the Marshall registries for their registries. Our head of the legal department has already answered this question in much detail previously, and you are welcome to contact our support service to have the answers sent to you. Currently, the whole world is being regionalized. While the European latest AML directives request an immense amount of documents from shareholders, some of which many shareholders from various countries simply cannot provide. This was our solution to the issue. Please specify how we will be able to legally receive our payouts for shares in Russia after paying all the taxes. Our company goes through several audits annually and pays all the legal fees and taxes required. Living in Russian Federation, you will have to pay your 15% tax on your earnings and will receive your profits legally thereafter. Why is it that other messengers such as Viber or Telegram introduce no releases with no issues, and with ours, issues tend to keep getting dragged out? Firstly, Viber and Telegram have their releases introduced much less frequently than us. We are catching up to them and are hoping to surpass them in terms of functionality in the next few months. We continue setting technological priorities as our team of developers is smaller than theirs, and as we attain current goals, we continue striving towards the next ones. Maybe the group of testers should get some concrete tasks and not have them wait for feedback. We will discuss this notion with our developers and will revert back to you. Despite the fact that the market of messengers with a built-in commercial platform is available, there are major companies that will not be fond of having Gem4Me MarketSpace as their competitor. What are the upcoming advantages and strengths in terms of technological functionality of our application in order for existing giants not to overcome us? We are striving to be competitive with our various notions that are advantages, such as Marketplace with its convenient commercial platforms, the final goal financial infrastructure in various markets. Apart from large companies, we are constantly searching for ways to further improve our application with new functionalities and new rapid introduction. In other news, I wanted to discuss the current situation on the world's market, specifically focusing on the economy in the United States as of now. Everything that is being created and introduced in that market today is in the digital field and not material notions. And as such, Victoria's Secret announced its bankruptcy, Zara closed 1,200 stores, La Chapelle closed 4,391 stores, Chanel temporarily halted its production and Patek Philippe is halting production as well, and Rolex in there too. Nike has $23 billion worth of debts and are preparing for a second round of layoffs. Gold's Gym submitted its bankruptcy recently. The founder of Airbnb announced that due to the pandemic, 12 years of efforts and work were destroyed in just 6 weeks. Starbucks announced of permanently closing 400 of its stores, and Nissan Motor Company will most likely end its production in the United States. Hertz, which is the largest auto rental company, announced its bankruptcy, and it also owns Thrifty and Dollar. The largest freight company, which is Comcar, announced its bankruptcy, and they have 4,000 trucks. Furthermore, the oldest retailer, JCPenney, submitted its bankruptcy and will be purchased by Amazon for pennies. Warren Buffett, the largest investor in the world, lost $50 billion worth over the course of last 2 months. The world's largest investment firm, which is BlackRock, is signaling a catastrophe in the world's economy, and they are currently managing more than $7 trillion worth. America's largest mall stopped paying its rent dues as well. It is estimated that between 12,000 to 15,000 retail stores will close in 2020. Below are listed the large retailers who announced closures: Gap, Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, Forever 21, Walgreens, GameStop, Pier 1 Imports, Nordstrom, Papyrus, and others. Unemployment in the United States has reached a record level of 38+ million, and unemployment rate at more than 25% out of 160 million of work-capable population, or almost 40 million are unemployed. Consumer demand decreases rapidly with no earnings, which results in a free fall for the economy, and this data is just pertaining to the United States. This is just the beginning of a total reformatting of the world's economy. It so happened that we foresaw the revolution of platforms coming prior to the major influx of interest towards this market sector. And at this point, it is rather evident that global platforms will be in charge of the world in the nearest time. Our platform organizes the exchange of products and resources without owning any, and yet it owns the most crucial aspect, the infrastructure and the technologies that are providing a continuously growing value for the platform. We connect merchants with consumers while providing them with the ability to change their products and services and offer financial services right there on the platform as well, all while also growing the value of the platform itself. And on this note, I would like to thank you for your time, as these were all the notions that I wanted to cover today, and I am now passing the word to Alexander Kachanovsky, the member of the Board of Directors. Alexander Kachanovsky speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends, and let's now continue our conference. Firstly, the current amount of users is at 12,083,000 users as we continue striving forward towards our major benchmark. Let's keep on marching forward towards our major mutual goal of 50 million of shares and even higher. And traditionally, let's begin with our weekly updates by summarizing the results of the earnings and work conducted, as well as the weekly earnings of those active partners. And as you can see, the geography of those partners is widespread from Canada to Japan, and over the course of last week, we had 21 partners from 4 countries with earnings of more than 1,000 euro. 13 partners from 3 countries with more than 2,000 euro, 7 partners from 2 countries with more than 4,000 euro, and 2 partners from 2 countries with earnings of more than 10,000 euro in just 1 week. And our top earning partner of last week earned 19,800 euro, and these are the average weekly earnings of our active partners. These are the profitability rates of our project for those partners who wish to earn not just when the project is finished and is sold, but also while it is being developed. Let's make these amounts more frequent over the course of this summer, and we are confident that this is the time when big amounts can be earned. As a reminder, our schedule of conferences for the following few weeks is depicted on the slide, and be sure to submit any questions you may have in order for developers and marketers to prepare diligent answers. On July 27th, we will have a news conference, followed by a presentation of the business on August 3rd. In other news, I wanted to discuss some of the notions that one of our leaders, Pavel Zhdanov, submitted recently. It was said that the use of the application should become habitual during one of the conferences. I noticed that I enjoy making audio and video calls in Gem4Me and more. As the result, I told myself that I should do so more often as the quality of sound and volume are impeccable. The quality is simply amazing. It is now becoming more and more of a habit for me. I'm also still using Viber despite the fact that it has been lagging lately and takes longer to load up when launched. I still continue using it for my conversations. This is the power of a habit. Gem4Me launches very fast, and this is a good benefit, and I'm starting to use it more and more frequently as the result. I just enjoy launching it fast. Although not all the functions are up to par just yet, as other messengers have the upper hand in certain regards still. And despite that, I continue developing new habits and use Gem4Me functions. Let's also answer some of the questions that we received. How many people in percentage correlation have CCA 0 to 1, CCA 1 to 5, 5 to 10, and 10? As mentioned before, we've made the decision not to announce this distribution yet, because as soon as we release it, there will be assertions made online regarding the future value of one share, and that is the type of information that no one has the legal right to announce. We are a venture project, and we can only show similar examples of applications like ours and how much they were valued at. Is the sale of Gem4Me for 14 to 20 billion possible? What is the minimum amount estimated? Once again, we cannot have a minimum or a maximum amount. We can only monitor the market and introduce notions that will surpass our competition and quality, offer a broader functionality, and launch a major promotional campaign in order to boost the value of our application thereafter. Due to the pandemic, the annual conference was rescheduled to August. Do we know the exact date of when the event will be hosted? We've already discussed this notion, and the flight situation is supposed to start opening up between countries in August. Although, according to our current predictions, the conference may be hosted sometime in November or December of this year. We will continue discussing this notion and hope that by then, the situation in the world will be much more stable. And the next set of questions that we've received. Marketers state that the massive advertising campaign was launched. However, according to the statistics, everything is still going at the same pace despite the fact that video calls and conferences are now available. Why is the project stagnant in the same position in terms of promotion, or is there not enough funds? We should come to an agreement with the marketers to pay them with shares, as was done previously, and the company was sold and joined the Forbes list to start promoting truly massively. Firstly, the marketers have not announced that such campaign has already been launched, as we are still awaiting the completion of our application's functionality in full and the introduction of our market space platform. We see our advantages and will be discussing the plans and future strategy for this portion of our application during our conference next week. Of course, we would need a higher turnover to have both the promotion and development fast-forwarded. According to the schedule, United States and other countries are scheduled to join the marketplace, and yet it is quiet, no information or updates. Once again, we will be discussing these aspects during our next conference, while we are currently finalizing our acquiring in Russia and will continue with other countries thereafter. There was a slight delay with the United States due to the pandemic situation going on there right now. When will the value reach 1 billion? Been discussing this for half a year and the number is still not the same. If you follow our news, we've recently had a new valuation in almost $500 million of our application. That is double the amount that was before. We continue striving ahead towards greater results and understand what needs to be done in order to get there. It is said that all the major funds will join after the work on MarketSpace is completed. When will that be completed? We continue announcing our plans and discuss them, but are never able to make promises, as we are not a bank, but we are a venture project and are striving to attain certain notions. We hope that once MarketSpace is fully functional, we will be able to work with major funds and much more. An agreement with the marketers can be made for a portion of the project and pay with shares and increase the amount of users to the point of sale, as Zoom did. It is understandable that everyone wants to sell, but we are doing the extra mile, and this year we are finalizing the core technological development of our application. And since Zoom was mentioned, I wanted to discuss how it worked and how long it took for it to get where it is nowadays. The company was established in 2011, which makes it 9 years old today. The core effort was focused on paid business solutions, and the first million of users was in May of 2013. The amount of users reached 10 million in June of 2014 and stayed at the same amount until December of 2019. The amount of users grew to 200 million of people in April of 2020 due to the pandemic, and the company attracted 130 million in investments during the period of 2015 through 2017. The company was valued at 1 billion of the beginning of 2017, with a market capitalization in April of 2019 at 16 billion, and the market capitalization on July of 2020 at 77.8 billion. We are monitoring what Zoom is doing, and our task is to see how our group video calls for 50 participants are effectively using it compared to Zoom. And our partners from Indonesia have been quite active, and here are some of the latest news from there. We hosted a marvelous event for the promotion of Gem4Me application in Indonesia, for the purpose of which was to introduce the application to use. We are working hard to increase the amount of Gem4Me users in Indonesia, and based on the initiative of several partners that are working for the government entities, we were able to place an order of t-shirts with Gem4Me embroidery, and we started spreading the news about our Gem4Me application. Partners also created Gem4Me groups and are starting the latest news in order to keep attracting new users. And our friends have also organized a major event called the Street Soccer Festival. The festival is a contest in which each participant videotapes themselves playing soccer in public. Each participant must see the video and send the video to the committee through the Gem4Me application, which means that every participant will be installing the application. It is one of the great ways to increase the Gem4Me user base in Indonesia, and the festival continues to this day. Let's now continue our conference by discussing the latest promotions that are in effect for the next 4 months. Firstly, here is the latest amount of shares depicted on the slide as they continue decreasing week by week. The cashback promotion is still valid, where a partner can receive 5% cashback from his or her purchases when paying for a package using encrypted currency. And the Maximized Advantages promotion for your advantage is still available and can be used while the amount of complimentary shares will be decreasing continuously, as currently it contains 250 complimentary shares until July 31st. While the Big Profits promotion, during which each purchase for buyers and sponsors yields 40% more shares than assumed by the marketing plan, is also valid until July 31st. And don't forget of our CCA 10 Powerful Surrounding promotion, and which is also still available, although the board of directors can end at any time based on the remaining amount of shares. It is very profound and is still available, although it will be receiving a smaller amount of shares starting July 31st. In other news, we've decided not to have minor promotions anymore, but rather now are introducing a new condition which is valid until October 30th. As mentioned before, the 50% of complimentary shares for buyers plus 25% of personal bonus for sponsors remains the same. Starting July 1st, there will be 40% of complimentary shares with a 10% decrease thereafter each month, while the main amount of shares and packages remains the same. And complimentary shares are slowly decreasing twice each month. There will be no more complimentary shares gifted as of November 1st, and moreover, the cost of shares is also going to be increasing each month, as by November 1st, the price of one share will be at €55, and the system is in effect starting July 1st. Additionally, this table depicts the newly introduced system until November 1st, as well as all of the promotions that are also depicted here to show what they include and the complimentary gifts associated with them. Be sure to look at this table to have your point of reference, while the Super, Mega, and Giga packages are also receiving a decrease of complimentary shares, as well depicted on this table. In other news, presidents and directors have now received the development bonus as the result of a very productive June. This bonus is meant to go towards expenses for one's structure, offices, and events. And we thank you for your hard work and hope that this bonus will help you continue improving. Additionally, after extensive discussing with our leaders, we are excited to introduce the VIP 5000 Club, which is a private and exclusive club for investors of Gem4Me and market space. And investors that have CCA 10 and an investment portfolio of more than 5,000 shares can join the club, which is cumulative for both Gem4Me custodian services and market space custodian services. And moreover, here are some of the exclusive advantages offered with this club. There are currently about 300 people who are on the very verge of joining this club and will receive such things as the private group with the board of directors for communicating in the Gem4Me Messenger, a unique club member logo in the business center of a particular investor in the club, regular closed meetings with members of the board of directors to discuss strategy and tactics for creating and developing the application, closed meetings with leading developers and marketers to get familiarized with all the aspects of development and promotion, briefings with legal departments regarding opening bank accounts in other countries, private meetings with realtors for properties abroad and lawyers that offer assistance in obtaining citizenship of other countries, and offline meetings with the board of directors during international conferences and corporate holidays. And on this note, I would like to thank you for your time. We wish you profound earnings and lots of productive work with these new introductions. Keep on working hard, and until we meet next time.